Hey everybody, welcome to Riding with Gravity. Today one of the things I wanted to talk about was lane position. Now of course, when you're in wet conditions, that's going to change things a little bit. In wet conditions, we want to stay off the middle of the road where there's going to be residual oil and so forth, because that's going to become slick. And we also want to stay away from painted areas of the road and metal like this, grates, storm drain covers, or covers like that. So anything like this, right? We want to avoid those kinds of things when it's wet. But when it's not wet, we've get a little bit more discretion with respect to where we want to place the bike on the road. It goes without saying, right? Everything out there is trying to kill us, and nobody out there can see us. So the primary thing is, do I have escape routes, plural? Because we want multiple escape routes if possible, but at least one, escape route. And when I stop, I'm in first gear, I've got my right foot on the brake, I'm watching my mirrors. If something goes on, I can take off if I need to. So I'm in the ready position, and I have a plan or a path that I can execute on. So at stops, very, we'll call it simple, but as you slow down, you do have to make a rather rapid choice about where you want to be on the road, right? Here, I'm stopping so that my rear tire is not on the painted strip. I'm not in this kind of gunky, oily area that is kind of in the center of the lane, and I'm staying away from the side of the road because it collects so much debris. And I've had a flat tire. I don't know where I got it. It's, at some point or another, it's going to happen to everyone, I imagine. But I do try to pay attention to, obviously debris in the road, and particularly though just staying away from parts of the road that are more likely to collect debris and gravel and stuff like that, right? But there is another piece of lane positioning that I think it's worth noting, and I think as I reflect on my riding in the past, there's certainly times when I've done this, but it's paying attention to not just your tires and what lane position you are in at the bottom of your bike, but it's also about your lane position at the top of your bike and your body, right? So if I'm in LP3 and I'm over here on the left, and let's just say hypothetically that this road suddenly swung to the left, my tires might be in LP3, but my mirrors or my body might go over across the lane, and that's not a good thing, because I could get clipped by a car, or if it's a two-lane road, it could even be oncoming traffic coming around, right? I'm not necessarily going wide in my mind, but I am, because my body and so forth are coming across, right? So that is an important distinction. It's one thing, where are you placing your tires for optimal traction? Where are you placing the motorcycle for great visibility, or for all those cagers and everybody else around you? But then the other part is just paying attention to the rest of the motorcycle and your body, so that as you ride, you're not carrying yourself across where you want it to be, right? So I'm going to come up here on a left turn that I don't think will be too wet, and I'll just show you what I'm talking about. I'm hanging out over here right between the two lanes, and now on this left turn, if I hug the lane, my head and part of my mirror and everything is actually across the median. So you know, I just want to make sure that I pay close attention to those things, because the more you're aware of where all of you and your body, your bike are on the road, the better off you'll be, right? So go ahead, if you have an opportunity to watch somebody ride, or you've got a friend that you can ride with, just go for a ride and take turns, just watch each other, and see, like, hey, you know, I think you could have done a better job with lane position here. It looked like your head and left shoulder was coming across the median when you took this, you know, this twisty on the left. Those kinds of things, right? I'm in a 2-lane road, and the same thing maybe happens on the right, and I potentially get clipped by a vehicle. So anyway, there's ways that you can maybe have a friend help you out or something like that, and do take turns, analyze each other's rides. You know, hey, what did you think about my lane position? What did you think about the way that I approach certain things, escape routes, coming to a stop, all that kind of stuff. You know, it obviously becomes like second nature after a while, but it's one of the things that I really enjoy about motorcycle riding. It's not so simple as hopping on a motorcycle and riding around. There's so much that you can gamify and have fun practicing. You know, I mean, here I am, I've got these bar end mirrors, and boy, I'll tell you, I'm really hugging LP1, and I'm really carrying myself across, right? So I need to be careful about the way that I'm riding to make sure that, again, I'm putting myself in a position to succeed, be visible, and all those other things.